Alright, we are back with graphing cube roots this time. We're going to follow the same rules as we learned for square roots. First, we're going to start with the parent function. Let me go back to green like I did before. I'm going to choose some values. And because I know what this looks like, I know what values I want to use, I need values that are x, values of x that actually have a cube root. So if you think about 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, so the cube root of 1 is 1. If you think about 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8, so the cube root of 8 is equal to 2. If we go 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 27 is a little too big for our graph, so I'm going to go to 0 is 0, cube root of 0 is 0. And then negative 1 is negative 1, and negative 8 is negative 2. Let's look at that. Negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 equals, you guessed it, negative 1. Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is equal to, a negative times a negative is a positive, positive times a negative is a negative, so that makes negative 8. So let's graph our function starting at 0, 0, 1, 1, and then 8, 2. With the negative values, negative 1, negative 1, and negative 8, negative 2. So I have a function that looks something like that, with a little squiggle there in the middle. So this is our parent function. So this is y equals cube root x. And now we're going to take this and we're going to move it up, we're going to move it down, we're going to move it to the right, and we can move it to the left. We can also stretch and compress it, and we'll talk about that later. It's a little bit more advanced. Let's just focus on the basics here. So let's take a look at some different problems. So looking at, let me go back to blue for this. So the cube root of x plus 3 under the radical. So anytime we have x plus or minus something, it's going to be a left or a right movement. What determines that is the sign. We're going to take the opposite sign, take it as minus, and it's 3 units. So graphing my parent function, 0, 0, 1, 1, 8, 2, negative 8, 2, negative 1, 1. How well I kind of do this one. So there is the parent function, y equals cube root x. And we're going to move every point left negative 3 units. So let's change to blue. Sorry about the bell. 0, 0 gets moved 1, 2, 3 units to the left. Negative 1, negative 1 gets moved 1, 2, 3 units to the left. If I move negative 8, negative 1, it's going to be off my grid. So let's go back to 1, 1, move it 1, 2, 3 units. And 8, 2, move it 1, 2, 3 units. So now I have a graph that looks something like this, where the whole thing has been moved to the left 3 units. Let's take a look at what happens and what it looks like when we move it up or down. So here we have y equals the cube root of x, then plus 5. So this plus means it's going to move up, and it's going to move up 5 units. Let's graph the parent function. 0, 0, 1, 1, 8, 2, negative 1, negative 1, negative 8, negative 2. There's the parent function, y equals cube root x. And now changing to blue, I'm going to move every point up 5 units. So 0, 0 gets moved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The point 1, 1 gets moved up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The point 8, 2 gets moved up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 1, negative 1 gets moved up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 8, 2, sorry, negative 8, negative 2 gets moved up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my new function the whole thing has been moved up 5 units. So now what happens when we combine that together? So I have y equals under the radical x minus 3, and then I have plus 5. So I'm going to take the opposite sign, plus 3 for the x. That means I'm going to go to the right 3 units. And the plus 5 means I'm going up 5 units. Let me draw in my parent function. 0, 0, 1, 1, 8, 2, negative 1, negative 1, negative 8, negative 2. In case you haven't noticed, we're using the same values every single time for that parent function. Those values don't change for the parent function. So now let's change to blue. And I'm going to move every point up 3 units and right 5 units. So 0, 0, I'll move it up 1, 2, 3 units, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. I'll move the point 1, 1 up 1, 2, 3 units, and then right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. If I try to move 8, 2, it's going to be off of my grid, so I'm going to skip that one. Go back to negative 1, negative 1. It gets moved right 1, 2, 3, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. I messed up. All right, let's start over. Let's go back and erase those points. I'm sorry about that. We got caught up in trying to talk and draw at the same time. Let's go back. I need to move up 5 units. So 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1 gets moved right 3. 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The point negative 1 gets moved right 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And negative 8, negative 2 gets moved right 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I have a curve that looks like this. So everything has been moved up 5 units and right 3 units. And of course it doesn't matter whether you go right 3 first and then up 5, or if you go up 5 and then right 3. Hope this helps.